So let's start with Buddhism as a whole, and give the audience a basic understanding of what it is. That way they know, and that way we know as well. This is something new to us as well that we're learning.
So, as you know, it started with Shakyamuni Buddha, who's also known as Siddhartha or Gautama Buddha. It's all the same person, different names depending on where you're from. And he was very wealthy and very privileged. And he lived in a place where he didn't know about suffering. And then one day he saw somebody lying outside the gate that was ill or dying. I couldn't say which it was. And it made him realize that he wanted to explore more. So he gave up all of the best that he had in order to find value in his life, to find out what life was about. So, but to make it brief, is that he taught, there's a word called sutras, and those are teachings in Buddhism. And he taught many sutras, and the disciples that followed him, of course, in those times, people who followed him did only that. They didn't have jobs or do other things. So it was kind of a privileged group of people that did the following. And he would teach these different sutras. But what happened was, as he evolved, he was teaching according to the capacity of the people of that age, which was a few thousand years ago. But the last, I think it was 14 years of his life, and don't hold me to that number, he said, everything I've taught you till now has been the truth, but I haven't revealed my highest teaching. So he taught the Lotus Sutra, which is what I follow, in the last few years. But what happened is, because human beings are what they are, people would look at one teaching and they'd say, well, that doesn't, what you teach in the Lotus Sutra doesn't sit well with me. I like this one better. And they would start a sect of Buddhism. This is probably true with every philosophy that there is. People kind of deviate 100%. Based on their own ego or their own desire to have people follow them. So that's how it deviated. But the Lotus Sutra, in our understanding, was the last, and he said the highest. And what made it different, in closing, is it taught in the Lotus Sutra thousands of years ago that all people were equal in potential. And as you know, even up until recently, women were not equal. You know, so if you had a different way of life, let's say, or you were anything but a male, nobody wanted to hear that you were equal, because people always wanted to be superior. So we still have overlapping of everything, but this is a teaching that says no matter what you follow, no matter what your background, whatever your preferences are in life, all of those things, you still have the same potential to become enlightened.